he was known for excess. Private jets, mansions, parties that stretched for days. Sean Combs, the name given at birth, was a shadow. In its place stood Diddy, a titan of hip-hop, a master of reinvention. He wasn't just selling music, he was selling a lifestyle, one dripping in diamonds and champagne wishes. His world was a whirlwind of luxury, custom-tailored suits, a fleet of exotic cars, a Rolodex bursting with A-list names. But every empire, no matter how grand, can crumble. Born in the heart of Harlem, Sean Combs's beginnings were a far cry from the lavish life he would come to lead. He hustled, he learned. He absorbed the rhythms of the street. Music became his escape, his passion, his ticket to a world beyond the concrete jungle. His rise was meteoric. From intern at Uptown Records to CEO of Bad Boy Entertainment, Diddy's ambition was matched only by his talent. He had an uncanny ability to spot potential, nurturing the careers of future icons like the Notorious Big and Mary J. Blige. Diddy wasn't just making music, he was crafting culture. His influence seeped into fashion, television, even politics. He was a one-man brand, a symbol of black excellence and entrepreneurial spirit. His name became synonymous with success, his face plastered on magazine covers worldwide. He had reached the pinnacle of the music industry. Awards lined his shelves, his net worth soared into the stratosphere. But behind the blinding lights and the deafening applause, a storm was brewing. The music industry, a fickle beast, had never seen anything quite like Diddy. He had an uncanny ability to turn everything he touched into gold. His Midas touch, however, was no accident. It was a product of relentless work, an unwavering belief in himself, and a keen understanding of the cultural landscape. He breathed life into the careers of struggling artists. He knew how to market them, how to craft their image, how to make them resonate with audiences. He was a master of reinvention, constantly pushing the boundaries of hip-hop, fusing it with pop sensibilities to create a sound that was both fresh and commercially viable. His work ethic was legendary. He was known for his marathon recording sessions, his meticulous attention to detail, his insistence on perfection. And the hits kept coming. He wasn't just topping the charts, he was shaping the sound of a generation. Diddy's ambition knew no bounds. He wasn't content with just being a music mogul. He wanted to build an empire, a diversified portfolio that extended into fashion, television, and beyond. He launched Sean John, a clothing line that embodied his own personal style, sophisticated, streetwise, and aspirational. The brand was a runaway success, becoming a staple in department stores across America. He ventured into the world of reality television with Making the Band, a show that gave viewers a behind-the-scenes look at the grueling process of creating a successful music group. The show was a ratings hit, further solidifying Diddy's status as a master brand builder. He had become a one-man industry, a testament to the power of hard work and relentless self-promotion. But the higher he climbed, the further he had to fall. Diddy's influence extended far beyond the world of entertainment. He became a vocal advocate for social justice, using his platform to speak out against police brutality and racial inequality. He established the Sean Combs Fatherhood Program, an initiative aimed at supporting young fathers in underserved communities. He became a major political donor, supporting candidates who aligned with his values. He understood the importance of civic engagement and encouraged others to use their vote to create change. He was a complex figure, a man of contradictions, but his carefully constructed empire was about to be shaken to its core. Opulence, extravagance, excess, these were the hallmarks of the Diddy brand. He had the world at his fingertips and his every whim was indulged. Mansions sprawled across acres, each more lavish than the last. Parties raged for days, fueled by rivers of champagne and attended by a who's who of the rich and famous. His wardrobe was a testament to his success. Custom-tailored suits from the finest Italian tailors, diamond-encrusted watches that cost more than most people's homes, and a seemingly endless supply of diamond-studded sunglasses. He traveled in style, his every journey a spectacle. But beneath the veneer of wealth and luxury, a darkness lurked. The cracks in his carefully constructed facade were beginning to show. Diddy's musical empire continued to expand, solidifying his place as a hip-hop titan. He nurtured new talent, signing artists like The Game and Cassie to his Bad Boy label, and collaborating with established stars like Usher and Christina Aguilera. His ear for hits remained as sharp as ever. His business acumen was equally impressive. Sean John expanded into new markets, launching a women's line and a fragrance collection. He invested in Ciroc vodka, transforming it from a little-known brand into a global phenomenon. Awards and accolades piled up: Grammys, MTV Video Music Awards, Billboard Music Awards. His trophy cabinet was a testament to his enduring influence on popular culture. But as his star continued to rise, the stakes got higher. He was walking a tightrope, and one wrong step could send him tumbling down. The year was 1999. New York City throbbed with the energy of a new millennium on the horizon, but amidst the celebrations, a shadow fell over Diddy's world. He found himself embroiled in a nightclub shooting, an incident that would forever tarnish his carefully crafted image. The details were murky, the truth obscured by conflicting accounts and whispers. But one thing was clear: Diddy was at the center of the storm. He was charged with weapons possession and bribery, accusations that sent shockwaves through the music industry and beyond. The trial was a media frenzy. Cameras flashed, reporters clamored for quotes, and the world watched as Diddy, once invincible, faced the full force of the legal system. His fate hung in the balance, his carefully constructed empire teetering on the brink. He maintained his innocence, his lawyers mounting a vigorous defense. The world now saw him not just as a musical genius and business mogul, but also as a man who lived on the edge. The nightclub shooting was a turning point. The whispers grew louder. Diddy, once celebrated for his business acumen, was now seen as a liability. Brands became wary, partnerships dissolved, the walls were closing in. The year 2004 saw Diddy facing legal trouble once more. This time it was a hit-and-run incident in Manhattan. The details were hazy, but the accusations were damning. Diddy once again found himself on the defensive, his reputation hanging by a thread. The media had a field day. Headlines screamed his name, each one a blow to his carefully constructed image. The once bright aura of invincibility that surrounded him began to dim. The hammer fell in 2005. Found guilty of charges stemming from the hit and run, Diddy faced a sentence that would forever alter the course of his life. Gone were the mansions, the entourages, the whirlwind of luxury. In their place, a cold, stark prison cell. The transition was brutal. The man who had flown in private jets was now assigned a number, stripped of his identity, and thrown into a world where freedom was a distant memory. The days were long, the nights even longer, filled with the clanging of bars and the whispers of hardened criminals. He worked menial jobs, ate bland food, and slept on a thin mattress that offered little comfort. This was his new reality, a far cry from the life he had built. Prison was a harsh teacher, stripping away the layers of fame and fortune to reveal the man beneath. Diddy, forced to confront his demons head-on, found solace in unexpected places. Music, his lifelong passion, became his lifeline. He organized impromptu rap sessions with fellow inmates, the rhythm and poetry a brief escape from the harsh realities of prison life. He mentored younger inmates, sharing his story, hoping to steer them away from the path that had led him here. He shared his meager possessions, offered words of encouragement, and discovered a strength within himself he never knew existed. He clung to the hope of redemption, of emerging from this ordeal a changed man. Time, once a luxury Diddy could bend to his will, now stretched before him with agonizing slowness. Every tick of the clock was a reminder of the life he had left behind, the opportunities lost, the dreams put on hold. He missed his children, their laughter, their hugs, the simple joy of watching them grow. He wrote them letters, pouring his love and longing onto the page, hoping that his words would somehow bridge the chasm that separated them. He yearned for the freedom to walk down the street, to feel the sun on his face, to taste the sweetness of a fresh breeze. The simple things he had once taken for granted now seemed like distant, impossible dreams. He held on to the belief that he would emerge from this ordeal a changed man. The weight of the steel door slamming shut echoed the finality of his situation. Gone were the silk sheets and city views. Diddy found himself confined to a cramped, concrete cell, furnished with nothing more than a cot and a toilet. The air, thick with the stench of sweat and despair, was a far cry from the perfumed air of his former life. Days bled into weeks, weeks into months. The monotony was a form of torture in itself. The constant noise, the lack of privacy, the ever-present threat of violence, it wore him down, chipped away at his spirit. Every day was a struggle to hold on to his sanity, his hope. He found himself longing for the mundane. A hot shower that lasted more than 5 minutes. A meal that wasn't bland and tasteless. The deprivation was both physical and emotional, a constant reminder of all he had lost. The arrogance that had once been his trademark was gone, replaced by a newfound humility. In prison, status meant nothing. He was just another inmate, stripped of his fame and fortune, forced to confront his own mortality. He found himself drawn to the stories of the other men, their tales of hardship, regret, and resilience. He listened more than he spoke, learning from their experiences, gaining a new perspective on his own. He worked alongside them, cleaning toilets, mopping floors, performing tasks that he had once paid others to do. He discovered a strength within himself he never knew existed, a resilience forged in the crucible of adversity. Every day in prison was a form of penance. He was paying the price for his mistakes, atoning for the choices that had led him to this point. The guilt and regret were his constant companions, a heavy burden he carried on his shoulders. He wrote letters to his children, expressing his love, his sorrow, his determination to be a better man. He prayed for their forgiveness, for the strength to be the father they deserved. He thought about the victims of his actions, the lives he had impacted, the pain he had caused. He vowed to use his experience to make amends, to advocate for reform, to help others avoid the path he had taken. He knew that true redemption would take time, that he would have to earn back the trust he had squandered. But he was determined to emerge from this experience a better man, a man worthy of forgiveness, a man who had learned from his mistakes. The day of his release dawned bright and cold. Stepping out of the prison gates, Diddy felt the weight of countless stares. The world had changed, and so had he. Gone was the swagger, replaced by a newfound humility. He was a free man, but the experience had left an indelible mark. The music industry he returned to was a different beast. The landscape had shifted, new stars had risen, but Diddy, never one to back down from a challenge, was determined to rebuild. This time, however, it wasn't about platinum records or extravagant parties, it was about redemption. He channeled his experiences into his music, his lyrics reflecting a newfound depth and maturity. He spoke about his struggles, his regrets, his hopes for a better future. He used his platform to advocate for criminal justice reform, to give a voice to the voiceless. He reconnected with his children, the joy of being a father, a potent reminder of what truly mattered. He dedicated himself to his businesses, but this time with a focus on social responsibility, investing in initiatives that empowered underserved communities. The scars of his time in prison remained a constant reminder of the price of his mistakes, but they were also badges of honor, proof of his resilience, his capacity for growth. He had stared into the abyss and emerged stronger, his spirit unbroken. Diddy's story is a cautionary tale, a reminder that even those who seem invincible can fall from grace. But it is also a testament to the human capacity for redemption, for growth, for finding light in the darkest of places. He emerged from the crucible of prison a changed man. The experience had stripped him bare, forced him to confront his demons, and ultimately to forgive himself. He had lost his freedom, his fortune, his reputation. But in the process, he had found something far more valuable: his soul. Diddy's journey is far from over, but it is a journey now defined not by the pursuit of material wealth, but by a deeper purpose. He is a man transformed, his story a testament to the power of second chances, the enduring strength of the human spirit.